Hi there everyone, and welcome back to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage. Your eyes do not deceive you. You are looking at a Sears Kenmore 1941, 1941 I believe. This is the sad, hopeless case of a Kenmore that those of you who've been watching my channel long enough will recall, and you probably gave up on me a long time ago. Probably thought I gave up on the machine, but it has been in storage for a long time now. And it looks even a little sadder than it did when I got it. This, for those of you who don't recall, was a machine that was given to me. They said, come and get it or it's going in the trash tomorrow. So I went and got it, and there's a rubber piece that goes to something. I got this machine as a, hopeless case, if you will. And I've been using different things, different methods to try to get it to unlock. And even when I would get it to unlock, it would relock. For those of you who don't recall, this machine, at some point in its life, somebody thought it would be great to put grease of some sort into the mechanical workings of what is otherwise one of the great sewing machines of the vintage era. In fact, it's one of the last great ones, made by Marusan in Japan for the Sears Corporation, back when Sears was really a powerful retailer. And every time I've gone to try to get this to work, I can get it loose, and then as it cools down, I've used heat. I have used any number of, I've used alcohol, and it always seems to gum back up. So today I'm going to attempt to see if we can get it to work. Whether I actually can save this machine, I have no idea. But for those of you who have a machine like this, or maybe you have a machine that's just, it's maybe you own a machine that is locked up and you can't get it unlocked. So I've got several tools out here. You can see I've got my heat gun. I have, what do I have? I've got some duct tape, and no jokes. I mean, I'm actually going to use this for a real reason. I'll show you in a moment. And then I have something called electrical contact cleaner. Now, this one says MotoMaster, but the brand is less important than making sure that you try something that does not leave a residue, okay? Now, I have not taken the motor out. The easiest, well, it's not the easiest way. I could take the motor out and undo the belts and try to deal with it that way. But I'm going to try this first. Before I do, I'm going to actually tape up, okay, the sides of my motor. The motor has openings on the sides, and those openings are there. The reason they exist is to allow air. There's a little fan inside that the motor drives, and what it's basically there is to cool the motor. Electric motors, they don't generate the heat that an internal combustion engine motor does, but they do need to be cooled. You don't want them to overheat, and these work quite well. One note to myself and to you folks: remember that this tape has to come back off when we're done with this little experiment here. I have no idea, by the way, how this is going to run, whether it's going to work at all, but we're going to try. The main thing I'm doing is sealing up these vent holes because I don't want this electrical cleaner to go in there. Now, the electrical cleaner is designed to be used, it's probably very high in solvents, so you'll notice I'm outdoors. Do not try this indoors. I wouldn't. And you can see, if I zoom in a little bit here, you'll see on the other side of the motor right here. I'm going to come over here, and you might want to take this is just a black duct tape. It doesn't have to be black, whatever color you've got. And I'm going to see if I can actually put this into strips. It might be easier to get it around these little vent holes that the motor has. Again, you can remove the motor. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, if this contact cleaner, if this electrical cleaner is so good at being evaporating when you're done and not leaving a residue, why are you going to the trouble of taping the holes? Why are you worried? Well, this is the first time I've used the cleaner, but more importantly, folks, I don't know how this machine excuse me, I don't know when this electrical contact cleaner gets onto the machine, you know, gravity will pull it down. I'm not worried about the cleaner, but if the cleaner carries with it, with the inevitable force of gravity, if it brings grease and oil down, I do not want grease and oil or anything else in my motor. If you get grease and oil in your motor, it is not a good thing. You will destroy the motor. It's a hazard. Don't do it. Okay? So if you don't have the tape or you're not going to try this with an electrical cleaner, if you're using anything else, you know, you definitely want to go ahead and remove the motor. I can service this motor without removing it because I've done Kenmores like this many times, but again, and this is the first time, guys, so you are watching me doing this for the first time. So, doesn't have to be pretty. We're just trying to keep stuff from dripping into the motor. You do not want things on your belts. If you get any kind of grease or oil on your belt, you're going to be taking the belts off and cleaning them at a minimum, if not replacing them. So, the last time we were gathered together to talk about this poor, sad Kenmore and what happened to it, we cannot blame the manufacturer because whoever owned this machine did not take time to study what they should be doing. Oh no, they either did it on their own or on someone else's advice. They thought, oh, we'll just put some grease in there and that'll take care of it, and that really almost destroyed it. Okay, I've talked many times in the past about why you use sewing machine oil as a lubricant. That's what they were engineered for. The engineers were smart. They knew what they were doing. Grease has a place in other parts of vintage sewing machines, but not here. It has limited use in things like bearing ports, and only certain vintage motors have those. Most sewing machine motors from the vintage era don't even use grease at all. Okay, you don't put it anywhere in the machine. In any case, okay, let's see what we have here. I'm going to come over here. This machine being a 70s machine, you have to turn the power on. And I don't even know if I have power here. Hold on a second. Hold on. Alright. Well, before I think maybe I'll have to switch outlets on here. I'm on an outside outlet. Okay, well that one works. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and the first thing I'm going to do, carefully, this is a heat gun. You can really destroy things quickly. I'm going to put this on high, but I'm going to hold it up, and I'm just putting some warm, I'm not going to get these parts to be piping hot. That's not my goal. But this thing's been sitting inside in the air conditioning, so I want to just kind of soften up some of the grease first. I might not even need to do that. I might be able to simply take this cleaner and try it. But why not? You know, I've got the heat gun. It's not a big deal, and I'm just coming across. You're just warming it up, right? I'm not going to spend a ton of time with this. And remember, you can damage things with heat guns. You don't want this heat gun anywhere near this cleaner because it's got a lot of solvents in it. That would not be wise. Okay. And just in case, I don't think most of my problems are over here, but I'm going to do this anyway. Come over here to the side compartment where we have a lot of moving parts here, and yeah, they squirted grease down in here too. And again, heat guns can remove paint, so the last thing you want to do is take the paint off your machine. So always be extra careful. Don't get this heat gun anywhere near your belts. It'll destroy it very quickly. Okay, now this is all, you know, you can see this, I'm turning, you get a little movement here, but just to warm things up just a tad, guys. That's all I'm really doing here. Okay. Now, let's see. I'm going to switch outlets and see if I can get any power to this once proud and fantastic Kenmore multi-stitch machine. Let's see what we've got here. Did I have this on or not? Oh, maybe I did. Maybe that's what it was. Okay. So I've got my foot pedal here, folks. Now watch. Look very closely at the hand wheel. Right? I don't know about you guys, maybe you can't hear this. I can hear the motor turning and the belt slipping. Why? Because the belt can only do so much. And this is really hard to turn. So we can't blame the belt. The belt's not broken, and I don't think the belt needs adjusting. But this machine is really, it's actually a mess. Okay, so it is back to where it was before I ever played with it. You might think, well, is he ever going to lose patience? Whew. Well, it is now time to experiment, folks, with this cleaner. We'll see what it'll do. I don't know if it's going to do anything, to be honest, but why not? I promised you guys I would keep trying and not give up. It's very easy to, and I can first of all, if you ever have a machine like this and you can't get it to work, please don't throw it away. It has a ton of parts in it that are quite valuable, very useful. Other people can use them. You can donate them to sewing machine repair places or to anyone online. Just say, hey, free for parts. You want it? Come get it. Try that. Okay, it says in English, electrical contact cleaner. So I'm going to try to my best. I'm going to steer clear of my belt. In fact, I may just take a piece of tape here and just cover that. It's tape, not a big deal. Shake the can up good, follow the directions. The directions are there for a reason. All right, what am I doing here? I am coming in, and I'm just gonna spray any of these areas that I can see. All the linkages, you guys know there's a ton. Excuse me, I'm gonna pick this up and bring it closer so you guys can get a better view. And going to come over here to my side compartment. And I don't know, I've heard people say, oh, you should use carburetor cleaner, you should use various things. The problem, of course, is that if you use anything, guys, that leaves a residue, that can be a problem. So I can even smell this stuff outside. It's, like I say, it's very high in solvent. Well, let's see. Nope, nothing's moving yet. Anyway, I'm going to let this sit for a bit and see what it does. I don't know if it'll do anything, but I promised I would try, and we'll see what happens. Now, this stuff, I can see it's already evaporating really fast, right? It's mostly solvent, so I don't even know if it will. I don't know if it'll do anything, to be honest, but we're going to try. Again, I'm not worried about my motor right now. I do want to make sure that I don't get this stuff on the belt, but everything is just so locked up here. It's just sad. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this to the red dot. That means I'm set. What am I set for here? Hold on. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is my width adjustment. Had to look down here. I want this on basically 0. I'm not going to try zigzag. You got to crawl before you can walk. We just want to see if we can get a straight stitch out of this thing. So I'm going to put it on the longest straight stitch. Right? We're not asking it to do anything strange. Ah, man. And we'll see. Yep, I hear my motor moving, and I'm not getting anything, folks. Nothing. And I actually don't have a bobbin case in it, so there's nothing hanging it up there. Whew, let's see. Well, so far I can see some oil or grease liquefied down in the bottom here, but I don't know. So far, not seeing anything amazing here so far. I guess the old expression, watching paint dry or grass grow, is certainly true in this case. And I'm just doing my level best here, guys, to try to get this thing to move. Oh, man, it is just I'm turning. Here we go. Aha! I got some turning going on here, but it is still, it's really stiff. Now that I've turned it, you'll notice I've gotten it to turn. Maybe that'll open up a few more areas for me to see if I can. I'll end up going through this whole can. You know I will. Ah, man, it's really. Come on, come on. Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm just come on. Let's see if we can just get this darn thing. You guys remember the old video where I actually got it to move, right? But the question is, will it keep moving? Okay. We're getting some movement. I mean, whoops, sorry about that, guys. I am literally flooring it. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know if it's because it took a few minutes to get moving, and I had to really strong arm it here, guys. She's moving, and you guys will remember I've been able to get this to happen before. The question is it permanent? Or is it going to be a temporary lull? That motor is so strong, it was really wanting to move it. But even the great motors that these came with are no match for grease and the gluing effect of grease. So I'm going to give it some more dousing here. Now, I'm just going to let it run a bit here, guys. I'm going to do my linkages here. And now, what else am I going to do? Let's come over here and try. We'll just try. We'll see what happens. Let's see if Zigzag wants to do anything. Yeah, right now we're not going to get any zigzagging, I'm afraid. But to be honest, given what this machine has been through, I feel very fortunate just to be able to do what I'm doing and to get it to do this. So we'll go back to straight stitch for now. Don't want to get too demanding of a machine that's been basically frozen for so long. So now is the real moment of truth here, guys. What have I done? Was it the heat? I think this cleaner is helping, but I can't tell. And I won't know until all of this stuff evaporates, and then we'll come back and see if it has any movement at all. Because other than this product, the only thing else I can think of is kerosene. I am not a fan of kerosene, and I abhor using it most of the time. I keep it outdoors. Kerosene is a very oily solvent, and it is very difficult to get it to evaporate. It can take, I don't know if it ever fully evaporates. It stinks, and if you have it in your house, I promise you, you will never make that mistake again, because it's awful. It's just gross. And it will stink up your house, it will stink up your life. You don't want it. But kerosene is really good. It works really well. If you're willing to put up with the outrageous stench and odors that it creates. Okay, guys, I can even do this, even when I apply just a little bit of power, I can get it to move slowly. So it's freed up for the moment. So we will see. Now, I have gone in here before, I've taken cotton swabs, I've tried to remove so much of that old grease. This product has done something. Now, has it removed all this thick old grease? No. Would it help if I used the heat gun more on it? Maybe. But I did that before. You guys have seen me toil with this thing, desperate to try to get it to run. I'm not even worried about all this. There's scratches and dirt. That's nothing, right? We can clean that up better later. And I'm happy to use a machine. In fact, I think the tension assembly is just, it's got its own set of problems. But I just wanted to see what I could do with one of the last great all-metal sewing machines. See if we could get it to. This is the worst I've ever had. I've had some really bad machines before. I'd say this is either the worst or one of the worst I've ever come across. And it's because they used the wrong thing and they didn't care, or if they cared, they set it outside. Toss it. And I didn't want to do that. Okay, I probably got at least a half can left. I'm going to hold on, and I'm going to let this sit, and all this solvent will evaporate, and then we will see what we've got. Will it crank up, or will it freeze up again? And do I at that point decide to save it for parts? Because there are plenty of these machines are not like super rare. They were expensive, but Sears was a powerful retailer once upon a time. They sold a lot of sewing machines. They sold a lot of everything. So let's see what this does, guys. This was my next attempt. Thank you all for your patience. Those of you who've been watching all the way back, you know, well, you've been incredibly patient. I don't know, how long has it been now since I've been doing this, right? So I'm not even going to remove the tape off the motor or anything. I'll just leave this be. And we'll check on it. Maybe I'll check on it tomorrow and see. And we'll do a follow-up video, guys. Anyway, I just wanted you all to know that I had not given up on the old Kenmore. This is, by the way, it doesn't look very pretty. This is one of the great machines. I like these so much, I am willing to put them up against Bernina's, because the Japanese, you know, they copied some of the stuff that Bernina had done. I know there are Bernina people out there who will say, oh, how dare you compare this to a Sears machine or Kenmore machine. This machine, it has a lot of the same power, and in some ways I think it's even better. And I'm saying that knowing I'll get some people who disagree with me, and that's great. That's a healthy thing. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think the odds are that this thing's going to move and crank up the next time we take a look at it, which hopefully will be relatively soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.